Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a unique Transportation Tuesday as we talk about getting between Bratislava, Slovakia and Vienna on the beautiful Danube River. The two capitals are not far apart, and taking the train isn't the only way to get there. There are so many boat options to go between these two cities. There are shuttles, there are boat trips to various attractions along the river, there are cruises, there is a ferry. There's a lot of ways, and all you got to do is go to this building and find your tickets on them. So, let's talk about boats and taking them on the Danube River. Join me, Terry Dixon, for an adventure for anyone as we explore this unique way of getting around. Now, Bratislava and Vienna are about 75 minutes by boat away from one another. And here along the waterfront in Bratislava, you are going to find such a variety of things going on with boats. They have boats that are docked, so it's easier for other boats to dock on the river. We have cruise ships, we have cruises, we have day cruises, we have ferries, and they go all over the place. And one of the things that's really unique here on the Danube, I've really not seen this before, is they take these old barges and boats and they make them into docks. The Danube is a perfectly navigable river. It's got restaurants along it too, as you can see, and they need a way to dock in the deeper water that helps you safely get to shore. So they have these shallower boats that are permanently docked to get you from the boat that you're on to the shore where you need to be. So it's a very unique experience on this river. Now you will see there are cruise ships and many other things, but there are at least a dozen companies that run river cruises through here. They may go as long as 7 to 10 days, but it only takes about an hour to get from Vienna over to Bratislava. When you're on the other side of the river in the newer town and you're walking along, you're going to see a lot of the permanently docked boats. These boats are nightclubs, breweries, restaurants, venues to have parties and events. It's all along this side of the river. Now, it's not alone. There are restaurants as well on the other side of the river and a hotel called the Botel Grazia over there. So there's a lot of things floating on this river. But mainly on this park side in the newer town, you're going to find most of the clubs and restaurants and stuff. And then as you're walking across one of the bridges over the Danube, there's this. We're not even quite sure what that is. And then up the way, you've got more parked cruise ships. And this is a river cruise that we took up to Devon Castle. We talked about that. And this boat was really cool. It can seat right around 75 to 100 people. Cost us about 25 euros. To take this up and down the river, and we learned something on that trip, which is when you're going up the river, the Danube has a heck of a current, and when you're going up the Danube, it takes literally 3 times as long as it takes to go down the Danube. So this is a swift-moving river, and it's got deep channels, and you'll find your boats are moving from one side to the other to stay in the deeper water in the navigable river. But the other thing you get when you're riding along on your day cruise, as we were, is you get some really great scenery. You can see Devon Castle when we're approaching it here, but there's more than that. You see all of this great stuff along the river. You see the trees, you see birds, you see all kinds of activities. Here we went by a quarry or mine. I'm not even sure what it was, but it was really interesting view. So these are things that you get to see that you don't see when you're taking the train and you're driving and whatever you're doing out there. Here along the Danube, they have these massive campgrounds with all these fishing cabins. Those things hanging up there, we couldn't figure out what they were at first. It looked absolutely silly, but when we took a closer look, they're fishing nets. And this is how the fishermen go out and camp and fish along the river. So something else we learned along the way. Then you have places where you have various other venues going on. There's boats where you can rent to stay, and there are boats that people actually live in. So there's a lot, to choose from right on the river. It's a really interesting view of life. Like I said, the cruises come through here, and it's only about an hour from Pittle to Post from Vienna to Bratislava. So they come in for the day, they get off the boat, they clutter up the town, and then they get back on the boat and take off. It's what they do on the cruises. Meanwhile, if you're taking the ferry from one end to the other of these two cities, that's going to take you about 75 minutes. Round trip, it's going to cost you $100, but it is a great ride on a hydrofoil. So that's very cool. If you're taking the cruise like we did, it was 25 euros to go up to the castle and back. So that was a really cool ride. And the cruises, I'll put some links down there. You're going to have to consult them. This Botel here, this is a very cool place. It is seasonal. It's not open in the wintertime, but it'll cost you about $100 to stay there for a night. And they even have a restaurant at some times of the year right on the boat. So as you can see, from the hydrofoil ferry that runs back and forth, we stopped in here at the building where all of the tickets are. We talked to them. They told us what we needed. We bought it. They told us where to go. We went, and we took our trip up and down the Danube River. And it is a really great ride. I highly recommend it. Get away from everything else and take one. But as you can see, look from above up here on the UFO tower. There's so much going along this river that's going on, and that's not even the boats that are moving. So it's a really fascinating, the waterfront, the boats, the ferries, so check it out.